And yeah, I was already on the limit of the amount of Discord servers to join. Alright, so we have a warm-up and then we go live. This warm-up is a good chance for me to practice parts. For example, such a drift here. Yeah, exactly. And I have really a lot of pings. When I come home from work, I have like 15 to 20 pings sometimes. Depends on which day it is, of course. But about the Frontiers Discord server, I actually completely forgot about it, because the last Frontiers events I was not able to play. I was always either having no time to practice for it, to practice and learn such a long or multiple RPG maps, or I was just yeah, at work. I'm not sure if that's actually also a reason. So I think their cups were in the evening. But yeah, I did not really play a Frontiers Cup since a long time, I believe. It's good that I get such a warm-up here, because I was not able to warm up myself. Yesterday I played this map in the evening quite a lot, but it's still a difference. Others have practiced this map today, so they are warm on this. And I come now basically home from work and with cold fingers have to get like the feeling again for it. I mean, okay, it was basically only 22 hours ago that I drove it, but still. It's a difference if you just played it already today or not. This part. This is actually one of these RPG parts. It's actually super important. First of all, this barrel, now I got a good gear and acceleration. But here this gear in this plastic is very difficult. Plus then also keeping grip. Never had that issue. Good to know. Also without respawns, a 622 is fast, so I had already some pace. And I didn't do too many respawns. Now back to the start. Because the start could actually be quite important. Yeah, would go far to the right, I guess. Alright, good luck, have fun. So it is a rounds cup, everyone starts with 201 points and we lose points unless you getting first place, then you don't lose points. I'll explain it later a bit more. Let's focus. Mistake there. Mistake I didn't have yet. So here I'm actually using camera, the alternative camera 1 on a competitive map. I think that's the first time that I do that. GG! I won the first round! Haha! Look at that! And TLM sent here with a Prime sub as well. Thanks a lot. The 631 is okay. I mean, I had some very safe and slow parts. Still that time in the end. So how does this work? So basically you see second place is losing 6 points, third place 13, then 20. We're overall 18 players. And these are the point losses for each position. And after every round, first place loses nothing, last place loses 100 points, and the other players, depending on how many are still there, getting something in between. When players get to 0 points, they are knocked out of the competition. With less players there, the gaps between the positions, so the minus points, are getting bigger, so second place will lose much more later on. It will always be last place gets minus 100, first place gets 0. And if there are only 3 people left, then second place will be minus 50. With 4 people left, it will be minus 33, minus 66 and minus 100 in the top 4 round. Yeah. Now with more players, it is not very important that I won, because these point gaps are quite low here. But there will be the moment where people get knocked out, and then it goes very quick. I'm surprised that we only start with 201 points, because I would assume that this doesn't take all too long. I mean, half of the player field obviously already lost over a quarter of their points. So this cup mode is pretty cool because it is a mix of getting knocked out. Also it is kind of a knockout. You wanna avoid getting to 0 points. It is rounds. And it is also somehow cup mode with finalists. Because if you come to that situation that there are only 2 players left, then you can directly see how often does the second player need to beat the first player in order to win. Similar to how you have that in cup mode as well, that you know that then. It's also some kind of, yeah. Also the last rounds are then over important, also this cup also gets more important the longer you go. That's also a nice thing. And the thing is, you can dominate the cup. If you just lose 1 point, if you just lose 1 single point in the whole cup, yeah, and you get onto 200 points, and otherwise you win every single round, the last player that is in with you only needs to beat you twice, and he wins the cup, even though you won all the time before. That is now a disadvantage of the point limit being so low at 201, yeah, because it's so low. This is like the last round matters. It's like a knockout, yeah. You will end up in some kind of situation like that. But there's also the chance that in the top 4 round, 3 players get eliminated, and then we have already the winner. It doesn't need to end in a 1v1 in the end. It doesn't need to happen. The top 3 will win prize money in this competition today. Oh yeah, and then also a random player will also get some prize money that wasn't in the top 3. But yeah, the first round winning is very cool. To win against all these people once is nice. Shows also that there is potential, but it doesn't mean much to the cup. Because as I said, at that moment when people get knocked out, then you have to make sure to get through. If you then have bad laps, you're immediately getting into last and you're immediately getting minus 100. Yeah, so... And you might also get minus 100 by just driving too slow, even without fails, if they all beat you then. So this is like, in the end it's like, this is when the fat lady sings kinda. There it matters what you do. Right now, yeah, of course, I have now some point advantage to some of my opponents. But later it's more important to have such rounds. But I think that was the only time that you can win a round with a 31. I don't think that this time will be enough again to win. Unless then in the very end, when you have only 2 players left or something, then things can happen. But in my opinion, this is one of the best formats that we have, because it combines so many things. Like, I also like this reverse cup mode idea that Turbo had, and that we used in several cups. I really like that. And this is a kind of reverse cup mode, but slightly different still, and very cool. Was close. Wow. You cannot jump lower than that. That was perfect. Holy moly. Bingo Bears on a sick run. Tada was also playing the monthly RPG Cup that uses this format since a long time already. We played it on Sunday. That was one of my worst cups ever. Performance-wise, I was very unhappy with what I did, and then also didn't really went that lucky for me this whole cup. Tata was there, seemingly the strongest player, but threw the win away in the end. So he's also playing this, and I'm pretty sure that if I'm trained well, then I'm faster than him, I'm pretty sure. He's a nice benchmark. Bingo Bear only 4 seconds in front of me in the end. He must have made a mistake. But he wins with a 27, and that's only 7/10 slower than my PB, which I can improve. I never had super clean runs, but I don't know if I go that much risk here. So the race ranking shows here the wrong numbers. This is a little bit weird in this format, or with the plugin, it's a bit confusing. Also Verlegen does not get -100 here. Oh wait. I confused Verlegen and Bingo Bear. Yeah, okay, Bingo Bear, nothing, me -7, but it's a bit confusing in which order we are seeing ourselves. And Scandia, -92, Verlegen, -100. Did they leave the server? Yeah, this is a little bit weird to me. Überlegen left the servers, Gandir left and rejoined. Yeah, so that's interesting because Gandir is now actually already quite in danger, and he might have had some issue with internet. I hope that I don't have an issue because I saw things that I don't like to see. When I came home, my TV screen was on, which is not good. And then I think maybe I get internet issues because of that. It's a bit difficult to explain, but yeah. Save the points, that's the objective, yes. Yeah, you will see because people have left the server already, we already get now more minus points. So I will actually drop my lead to Wingo Bear because he only got -6 in the first round, but I get -7 now already. Hazard, Artis, yeah. It's nice to have some leads to them. Eve left the server. Interesting. And even then, even with Heath and Valegen being like they are, it is absolutely not a guaranteed like top 3 for me, because we have still Hazard and Artis, who are both very good, and the last rounds will decide a lot. And Wingo Bear is very well trained. Okay, let's go next round. So with this start, I saved it now, but I lose like over a second already. That is also some gear issue. This is like very slow now. Like this roof, it was also shit. But the map is long, so I always want to get into the rhythm, into the run first. It's actually crazy. Was it first round where I had here in this sector a mistake and then still won? Never believed that would happen. Gear issue. And I can tell you, as a one annoying mistake or bug, there are random parts in this map as well. And it can lose you like easily 20, maybe even 30 seconds. Also there are very long checkpoints in this map. That explains also my good positions in these rounds where I just survived. Because it just needs one checkpoint to go bad and you lose a lot. Also this one here is a difficult one, for example, but especially this here is very long and it ends with something that I would say feels a bit random. And there I'm really not sure. I see it going wrong at least once in this cup. You see, you have to do all this slow stuff and then it ends with this flip here. And sometimes I didn't land on this plastic. Or you land on the plastic, can't avoid the tilt of your car. That's also not much better when that happens. And then you land on your roof and slide on the plastic along. And if the plastic doesn't save your head, that also already. And you saw maybe that there is a reuse that in the sector before. And there I had a small brain lag already in the slap here. It almost caught me off guard. You have to once release at these booster uphill jumps. And yeah, I was releasing in the wrong one, but still made the jump luckily. He's leading, and I have also a huge lead to third place. I can take everything quite safe. But 24 for RTs, good time. But I did 31 again. I started with 31, then I did 32, now I did 31 again. That's good so far. I think the order that you see with Tab is basically the order in this round, even if they didn't finish yet. But Hazard did finish, you see it in the top left with a 36. Now Dobry finished in 4th. So this basically changes probably each checkpoint or something, I don't know. If someone overtakes someone, it might switch around here as well. But yeah, only after the round you then basically at the start see the current standings. But for me it's looking of course pretty good so far, because I only lost 15 points in total. And you see the third place alone already loses 16. Artis however is not far away, and Wingo Bear is now equal to Artis almost. Hazard is losing a little bit, but it's also fine. It's not too far away. Tata is losing now a bit. And then we have a bunch of drivers under 100 points. And already in the next round we will have several knockouts. So we will see Edixot being knocked out, AFK Gamer being knocked out, Shantiai being knocked out. And then we have drivers that get very close. Also Sertalion and Creon would need to basically win in the next round if they want to stay alive. Scandia is knocked out. No idea if he was just driving or not. Didn't see it. But he was the one guy where I said myself, okay, if he plays this, and it looked like he will play, and now I saw even that he got the world record, I was very sure that he is unbeatable for me. Also this is one position that I definitely already lose to a possible first place. Or when my aim is kinda top 3 and Scandia is then one obvious position already. That will be ahead of me, but that's not the case now anymore. And sadly, still, it is not safe at all to get into the top. Because the main opponents, Vingobeer, Artis, Hazard, they lost points on me, but of course not that much right now. Yeah, at this point of the cup, they don't really lose that much. Nobody of them is already in danger. Nobody of them is already under -100, under 100. And you know, if then only us 4 are left in the cup, and that can happen with a high chance, and then I get 4th in that round, then I get -100 and lose immediately multiple positions. But what could save me is the fact that even if I get last and get -100, there will be a player in second to last and also getting a big amount of minus points, and that guy might get eliminated even though he beat me in that round, while I'm maybe still alive because I have still enough points. And in that regard it makes sense to get a good lead, which I was not able to do on Sunday when we played this cup format in the other cup with another map. There I did a bunch of dumb mistakes. And sadly mostly my mistakes as well, not even just bugs. It was really a shit performance by me. I was very disappointed, similar to what Scrappy had after his Cup of the Day throw. Why did I almost not make this jump? But yeah, this is such a run now where every one of my main contenders survives. And this is now the first round where there will be actually bigger minus points, because we just had multiple people getting knocked out. So here, a 5th place is losing me like 50 points probably. It's like in the middle. No? Of course, the round is not over yet. The speed that you get out of this flip in this freewheel downhill is also so different always, so random. Just random. I mean, they will fight each other in this round. Maybe someone will risk then more and they make mistake. So let's see. Yeah, my gap is actually huge. Also this is a crazy round. Like even 4th place isn't that close, but 3rd place is like miles away. Yeah, we have to hope that they don't do this consistent. from now on. And it shows how important it was that I already got a bit of a point gap. Even though you don't win that many points at the beginning. I mean, I can also try faster. But of course I go more risks, and after the first 3 rounds where I was always top 2, no, I'm of course not changing my setup, my lines. No? I will just keep it up like that. Because what works, no, never change a running system. But if the others change their driving and their performance, then of course at some point I would need to change it. I mean, they might also know that the last rounds matter way more than the beginning. So you can always come back in this format as well. But if you are close to 0, then at some point you would need to win rounds consistently. So any non-winning round is knocking you out immediately. And the later you go in the cup, the more it is safe to say that you need to win. So also I don't think that it's slower what I drive now, even though I was 12 seconds behind. Yeah, it's... Oh, 3rd place! No way! I can't believe it. Wow, that was lucky. 3rd place though. How did that happen? I mean, I was far away from 3rd place initially, and 4th place was also 3 seconds away. But yeah, that's helpful. We had now Hazard and Artis, and look at these points now. Minus 12 already for the 2nd position. Yeah, minus 25 already for 3rd. And it will get much more extreme now, because Kyron is getting eliminated, Yok is getting eliminated, and Surtalion is getting eliminated. And then we have Tada and Dobry then now already in dangerous positions. Also Dobry kinda needs to win already. Maybe a 2nd place is just enough, but tough. And Tada also needs a decent position in the top half of the player field, and the player field is short, it's quite yeah, little now, quite small, because we lose 3 players, so we have only 6 players left in the cup. And you see that we have also the same top 4. I wonder who was also ahead of me here. Must be Tada. Must be Tada who was ahead of me as well. But yeah, you see 621 is like crazy, you know. 12 points difference, of course, for me also, that I have beaten Vingobir. I wanted to say something when I finished, but yeah, I don't remember now. But yeah, now it will become much more important, as you see. And the top 4 are in the top 4 places, so the others are also... Like, I'm actually 2nd last in this round. From the top 4 players, no? 2 of them have beaten me. And come closer to me. Only 1 lost, and that one guy that lost to me was the guy that was the closest before. So the gaps are overall very, very little still. But yeah, I will not drive a 21 here, I think. The question is now, how consistent will the others do that? They had a very rough start, but every little round that they did is of course also more warm-up towards the more important rounds, where they can then perform. So in this cup, really, it's my good first rounds, they do not necessarily matter too much. Yeah, now I know what I wanted to ask myself. Like the top 3 win, you know? The top 3 win prize money. But if many people get knocked out in the same round, like how do they calculate who is ahead? Like you could of course see if they were minus points overall, on what kind of points would they end up if you really deducted. Maybe that's a thing. You have to do it like this because I don't see any other fair way of doing it. Ooh, that was very diagonal. It's very fast now, but was a bit risky. I didn't plan to do that diagonal. Depending on how much speed you get into the section, you have to decide like how diagonal can you jump. And it's actually important to go as diagonal as possible because the angle for the next part is then also much better. I kinda knew it, that I will not make this jump. But you see how the level has risen. Too bad, without that mistake I would be on a good position. You have to see I'm 5th, but it is identical with pre-last. So I get minus 80 points, I believe. Yeah, if I finish like this, I'm getting minus 80 points. So this is not a position I wanna be in. So having this first mistake exactly now hurts. I was sick. Okay. There were crashes. So I'm in a safe 3rd place in theory. That's nice. But I'm still tempted to risk and to overtake Tata. Oh, I already did overtake someone. Yeah, it is Tata. That's beautiful. That is a 34. It would have been a 28-0-0 without my respawn. And the crazy thing is the respawn did not matter. I had to respawn and it did not matter. That is very good for me. So you see the minus points. I'm getting minus 20 and Hazard is with that now only 10 points away from me. But everyone else is of course losing quite a lot. And especially the fact that Vingobir gets minus 60 is of course very helpful. Dobry is knocked out, Tada is knocked out, and Vingobir is now, we are now only 4 players left, and Vingobir kinda needs to get good points now. Wait, did he had 65? Also it will be now minus 33, minus 66 and minus 100. I learned that on Sunday, sadly. Had to learn it there. If Lingo is on 65 points, then a 3rd place is knocking him out already. So he would need a top 2 position. Vingobir is in 1st, that's the worst possible outcome. Oh my god, that lag. Oh my god, that almost went wrong. It feels so random, that section, what the heck? Did I do any mistake in my approach? Like, I would really like to know what is the safest way of doing that flip. What is the safest way to drive against the edge? Which angle would you do it to make it always work? I'm really not sure if there is an angle that makes it super safe. Oh, that's great. It is great for having a guaranteed prize money. Oh god, that was almost too far left. Oh wow. Well, that's maybe not that great. It is kinda great. Maybe it is. That's good. But it might make Wingo Beer survive. And we are still 4 players then. Incredible. That's crazy. So, and now we have to wait. Holy shit. So it is actually... Ah no, it's not Wingo Bear surviving. RT speeds Wingo Bear by 300s! And Hazard finishing 1 second after. So Wingo Bear is out by 1 point. Oh my god. So now it's me versus Hazard and Hatis. But even if I'm getting last place, that again is super shit start. But yeah, even if I'm getting last place, if they have the correct order for me, like who is first and who's second, also one of them can get knocked out now, if he gets second place. And should I win this round, then there's also one possibility where the cup would be over. They are doing a very good start, very close together, both of them. Oh god. That tilt was annoying. As I lost a lot of time there. That's Artis leading. Oh shit, I thought it was the other way around. Also I think that this is the scenario. If I would just overtake Artis now, I would be winning. Artis 3 seconds ahead. Oh. But now he might be behind Hazard, and then I'm not winning anymore. Was that slow? So random there. So I'm battling with Artis here. He caught up. No. Yes! And is this it? It's not it. Okay. I thought that Artis would be last and Hazard in second. Okay, but that means I'm in the final against Artis. And I need to beat him in 1 of 2 rounds. was silently hoping, because I didn't remember who was second, who was third. I was silently hoping that I would have won the cup already, without needing to go into a 1v1 scenario. But one thing, for example, which makes this close to cup mode, also if you want to win this cup, then you have to win a round. Without a round win, it doesn't work. Okay, I didn't lose anything further. Yeah, somehow slow. Had now multiple rounds in a row, kinda slow there. Half a second. It's only 4.6 ahead. I think I would have won. Yeah, I was beating that. Yeah, I knew that this is important to get. I basically had to make sure that I keep my speed and get a good landing. He has such a good start. Yeah, I had one bad part, but 2.4? I mean, otherwise, this start here for me is better than the previous round, I would say. Yeah, saved it. It was very close to full dead. The car didn't turn around, didn't do a full flip there. Maybe some steering right before the jump made it. Aye. Yeah, at this point we have to hope for a mistake. This was not also crap. I had a bad gear, I couldn't jump early. I saw that it's not possible to jump. And had to basically save it, but it's losing you easily 3 seconds. To what I already lost because of the non-rotation that I had, so he should be leading by 8 or 9 seconds already. He of course can still be nervous in this case. A bit unfortunate because I think I would deserve to win the way I played. And yeah, this is like the one problem with this format. You can be very dominating in theory, and the opponent only needs 2 rounds. That is like happening because we use this very low point limit here. He only needs to beat me twice. And I need to beat him once, like it's not a big difference now. That's why I hope that it's already over, that I knock out both. But also second place, I didn't really believe I would get that high up. So it's not bad overall. And I could have won last round. If I get the jump, I mean, the fact that I did not make the jump, or, yeah, well, I came over it, but yeah. The fact, what happened there, it was quite unfortunate. I never clipped there, I was never too low. Never. Oh, guys. Oh. and on. But I'm not far in front. It's 2 seconds. The part that I failed will be decisive again. Oh yeah. No. Fuck. Ach Gott, ey. Oh, RIP, ey. No way. Both of these rounds were winnable. Like, I mean, it is 1 second. It is 1 second. And if you think, like, how many shit happened in this round. And I was always beating a 33, basically every round. I would just like to finally get some cup where I basically finish this. When it's then there, when the first place is there, when it's gifted. It's of course always in RPG mode, it's always so nerve-wracking, because you have so many things still to get through. Yeah, what happened there? The transition onto the uphill booster. Yesterday in the stream I had there a huge bug once, when I couldn't even continue. My car landed on the booster and immediately backflipped. And you always lose a bit of speed at some point on that booster, but then it will boost you. And it did boost, it slowed me down a little bit more than I thought that it would. And yeah, I think now I should have not gone close to that edge from the booster. I don't know where this part is. If I can find this real quick. Don't know which edge of the map it would be. Let me check. I mean, we will see it here. So, I think of course I shouldn't have gone close to that edge. But we would need to rewatch this. I don't know if it was actually my front right tire or then somehow my back right tire clipping that. But I got a slowdown on this booster that made my turn way tighter than I thought. And of course I knew I need to get this whole section still decent, because he is only 2 seconds away. And the thing is, if you get a bad landing here, you can truly lose quite a bit. But then suddenly, for the first time that I played this map, I clip on this edge and it pushed me to the right. And then the problem is that I miss speed for this transition. I mean, the transition is still quite easily doable, but I do miss some speed, and I've never attempted this transition with this low speed. So I wasn't sure exactly how to do this. And what I know is, if I want to land good on this platform, if I don't want to land on 2 wheels and tilt over and lose speed, then I need to do a left steering on this block here to get my nose a bit down. In the second to last round, where I caught up to him and would have overtaken him here, the thing is that I risk this quite a lot. Because if you land bad on 2 wheels here, also you easily make it to the checkpoint, but it will require you to take this booster in order to make the jump. So you have to go extra wider and everything. And that makes it so important that you get this transition smooth, where you land with speed and then immediately have the right speed also for this transition. So it's like a combination. And I'm not really very consistent with this though. What I figured out is I need to, in normal speed, I need to get very tight with basically no air time into this quarter pipe, a little bit up and then steer to the left. But in that moment when I don't hit the section here, in that moment when I'm a bit further left and get air time, then my car will of course get a wobble. So my right tires are landing and then the left tires are getting from the rate transfer, are getting pushed a bit down, and then you jump off here. And then the car is already in that rotation where the left tires go down and you will land very sideways. So in this second to last run I tried to hit it very perfect and steered just a tiny bit too early to the left, I guess, or something, and hit this edge here very closely. Never had that mistake, but it happened because I knew I have to gain 3/10 on him here. And I knew it only works if I land good. If he has a good ending, that is. You know, look. And in the last round, after I clipped here, the speed was of course so low that I wasn't really sure how to do it. And I think with low speed it is in theory even easier. Like the standing respawn from here must also work. Like the speed must be enough to make this. And I was of course faster than a standing respawn. So probably you just go into this pipe here and you have much more time until you steer to the left. So you can actually go a little bit up and then steer to the left when you jump off. Should be actually easier. But of course in that moment it was a bit difficult to quickly think how I approach this now. And that I also hit this edge by just a tiny bit, and this gives him the lead. The second hit. The first hit alone, I thought already he will be equal or maybe overtake me, but his ending was probably also not perfect. I was clipping here, I had to take the booster, and I was still in the end only 8/10 away. So yeah, here at the end I tried to risk the section of course, and I got it also very nice. But the gap was then already too huge. You cannot really gain 8/10 on that ending to someone who doesn't make a mistake. Lost a little bit on these boosters as well. But yeah. Yeah, I started yesterday. So actually not bad, I didn't expect it. But of course, when you're so close, then I don't know if the depressing side overwhelms the happiness here. I don't know. It's quite annoying, of course. The first round was already crazy nice. I had a very safe start. I was quite early behind him. But what I did then afterwards, catching up these 2.5 seconds, I had basically only good sections then until where I clipped. It was a really good comeback. And yeah. Was of course quite lucky for Artis that his 2 times were now driven in the right way around, so that it was enough. He of course gave me a chance. I don't know what his mistake was, otherwise I would have of course been not there to beat him after the struggles in the start. I mean the start, I don't know if I can find that. Here, yeah. Also in the very start there was one small thing. But I think the start was faster than in the round before. And I had one small time loss, but he had a much better start. And then it was 2.5 seconds already. And then we approached... Now I lost it again. Ah yeah, then we approached the section here. And exactly with this. And yeah, what happened here is that at this jump here, my car did not do the full rotation quickly. The thing is, I did also not hit this nicely. There is some kind of diagonalness that you want to do. And I was landing a little bit too far left, I think. Too far that I would jump up here, which I should not do. So I had to steer a little bit to the right before, which already meant that I don't jump as diagonal. It already meant this is not very great. That was basically an aiming issue from the jump before. But this small steering, even though I think I didn't steer in the air, it cancelled my rotation. And it was a very tough, close call. I almost wouldn't even have made this jump, because if you land on your back here or on your front and you get a plastic bounce, then you end up outside of this platform. You're dead then. So I had to basically hope that I don't get a plastic bounce, and that was very close. So I survived it, but I lost, of course, a ton of time in this section. Then, of course, also this jump here that feels a little bit random to me was very tight to get. I did get it then, but maybe also small time loss, so I had to risk this section. And here, I think I was tilted too much with my car and got a slowdown. And I only realized that in that moment when I steer to the right and want to accelerate. And I realized the car is not accelerating. And like the thing is, you land here and you immediately go to the right without any like straight driving. And when I saw that my car is not getting the speed, there was another round in this cup. That was my only mistake before, where I did not make this jump in the same thing. I knew that I wouldn't make it now, so I had to open my steering, go left again, and then jump very tight here, which means that this left turn is then a very tight hairpin for me, and then comes freewheel. So this alone did also cost me easily 3 seconds. And then it was obvious that he is far away. Like these 3 sections in a row basically threw me far behind. Yeah, and he must have made a mistake in a section. Let me check. This all worked. Yeah, here we are in this section. So, yeah, in the freewheel. You must have failed the freewheel part. No? Drift around this checkpoint. I actually failed the transition here. I was doing my neo slide, and then I wanted to go too early to the right. And realized I won't make this. Opened my steering and went then later on the platform, which meant that I was far left here. I had a shit angle, so I also didn't really get it perfect. But yeah, he must have fallen down. And I must say, if I was in the lead like him, I also would be very nervous in this section. Because with freewheel, the thing is always that you lose a bit of control over your car. Just releasing will not help you to get around the corner. And braking, and the car starts drifting, and the back tires go a bit more outside, and you can easily clip. So it's all not that great. But yeah, suddenly I was first here with like 1.8 in the lead, and I mean that was then gifted. And I only need to bring that home, of course. This jump here was already a bit close, but I made it and I still had 2 seconds. I got also this very consistent today. I knew exactly actually how I have to hit the roof here, so I was really consistent with this. And I also didn't slow down. I didn't save these turns and transitions. I got that all fast. He was not able to catch up anything here. And it was quite obvious that this ending is the only thing that matters. Here, I think I had this weird nose down. Jumping against it, the car immediately looking like this. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and then came it. Like, I knew at this point it's basically just this part that is still missing. Yeah, the only part that is not savable. And this non-savable part cost me now both finalist rounds. That is quite annoying. Because you cannot save this too much. You have to go very fast here, and you have to do precision-wise, like certain steering movements to get a good landing here. And yeah, if you get that, then here, I mean, I was always able to save that. That's doable. And here you can always save this. I was of course a little bit afraid of hitting this edge here, or trying to avoid it so much that I don't make the jump. And here, no, this is however a jump that you can save. But when it's a close round, then you of course want to perfectionize this. And in the end, nothing should go wrong, in theory. Like, this end only matters if you're really close with the other guy. But these 8-10s that we had were not close enough. But yeah, it was a very sick cup until then. I mean, after only Artis was left, I literally only lost overall 60 points in all the rounds. That was actually crazy. It was a bit surprising in the top 4 round, in the top 3 round. They let me win. And I didn't lose points. This was surprising to me, because I didn't have my best rounds there and got an easy victories. This whole thing could have ended also in a way that I drop out of the top 3. So in this regard, I'm not unhappy. The thing is, Vingo Beer, yeah, and Artis. Artis is quite lucky overall with this cup win. Because remember the way he knocked out Vingo Beer? Vingo Beer got knocked out by 1 single point. And the direct battle between Artis and Vingo Beer is a difference of, in that round, a difference of 33 points. And Artis was down in 21 points here. So if he was behind Vingo Beer, then he would have been knocked out already, basically, yeah. The thing is that Vingo Beer would have still been in. However, I realized, like, even if Vingo Beer stays in, me being in first means that even if I get last with all 3 opponents still there, one of them has to get minus 75, and this guy gets knocked out before me. So, or minus 66 I meant. So I was basically safe in the prize money, even with Vingo Beer staying alive.